This is my ECNL game weekend. Started my morning around 7 a.m., took a shower, brushed my teeth, and then did a little bit of reading, made some eggs and toast, and then headed on the road at around 8 a.m. Had a 5-hour drive, so a bit of a drive. When we were about 3 hours away, I had a peanut butter and jelly. Not much of a view in the Midwest here. Just watched a movie and did a little bit of reading. And then around an hour out, had an energy drink. And then, of course, it started raining right when we pulled in. Got to the fields around 1:30, and our first game is versus KC Athletics. So first 10 minutes of the game, they get a ball in, and our goalkeeper takes him out. Ends up getting a red card, which is not the way you want to start a game. So we have to put our center back in goal. But surprisingly, we were just controlling and dominating the game. They didn't really get much chances. Here's kind of an example. They wouldn't even press us. We would just control the ball, get a few chances here and there. Here's one of the chances that they got. Just a long ball. But then in the end, they don't really do much with it. We end up retaining possession again. And actually end up getting a chance out of it. Here's another chance we get. Just a ball to Bryce, plays it in, kind of bounces. I get a shot off, just deflects, and then he gets a shot off. But we just couldn't seem to score. Here's the second half. We make a great save, and then get it cleared out. E plays it to X, and X is on the run. Takes it in, has a beautiful little feint, plays it through to Kylan, and Kylan skies it. It happens. I got subbed in right after that, after about 20 minutes or 15 minutes of the first half. I couldn't get much going, but here they get a lucky deflection, and then they just pass it in the corner. They go up 1-0, and as you can see from the time, it took them around 80 minutes. Here they get a lucky deflection, and then just chip our keeper, which is our center back, so... In the end, we lose 2-0, but really difficult to get a result out of that, going down to 10 men in the first 10 minutes. But made it to the hotel, showered up, had a little snack, and then went to the gym and rolled out and did a little bit of stretching. And then DoorDashed some mac and cheese and some roasted beef and a roasted beef sandwich from some local restaurant, and then kind of just watched some TV and went to bed around 10:30 or so. And then the next morning, woke up around 8, brushed my teeth, took a shower, had some breakfast, which was a bagel and a muffin and a biscuit, just a bunch of carbs, and then headed to the fields around 9:30. Nice fields once again. And our second game was versus KC Union. This game went similar to the first game. We were dominating possession, but we just could not finish our chances. Here I check in, kind of take a touch in, and then play it back, and then we retain possession, play it through, and then we lose possession, and then we retain possession. Here's the first chance they really get in the game, 25 minutes in or so. Just a long ball, bounces, our center back's out of position, and somehow this is not offside, which it should definitely be offside. But then they end up finishing and they go up 1-0. And then we end up winning a penalty around 4 minutes later. He does end up missing the PK, which is unfortunate to say the least, but it happens. And then we go back to dominating possession. Still just not finishing our chances. Basically just having them trapped in the whole first half. But here Lando plays a long ball to Bryce. Bryce plays it through, and I kind of dink it, but hits a defender. But moving on to the second half, after putting more pressure on them for around 30 minutes, we get a long ball from Cal to me. Here I hold up the ball. Either me or the center back there dinks it to X. X plays it across, and E just taps it in. So we tie at 1-1. And then like 5 minutes later, so this happens. We get a long ball over the top. The keeper comes out. I don't know what that is. And then JC receives the ball and then chips him beautifully. we go up 2-1, which is very good. Ended up winning 2-1. Not the cleanest win, but we got